Why can $100 also activate the wealth engine 4 years ago? I conducted an experiment with $100, dividing the money into 5 parts and investing them in different categories. Today, we will thoroughly address the doubts of beginners through 5 major dimensions: learning curve, passive income, tax efficiency, risk level, and actual return. Remember, investment is not a game of money, but the monetization of cognition. Even with just $100, it can plant the seeds of wealth. 2. Practical comparison of 5 investment methods. 1. Individual stock investment. A double-edged sword of risk and opportunity learning curve. Practical skills. Practice with a demo account. With a focus on net profit growth rate, asset liability ratio/ROE. Lesson from the case. Back then, when I threw darts and selected 20 stocks, I held Samsung for 4 years, and it was only worth $67.76. The dividend was only 10 cents, and the total loss was 32.34% passive income. Typical stocks: Industrial and Commercial Bank of China. China Yangtze Power tax efficiency. American investors can choose an IRA, while in the UK, they can opt for stocks and shares ISA risk level. A painful lesson. When the dot-com bubble burst in 2000, the 3 technology stocks I held were wiped out directly to index funds. The compound interest code for lazy investors learning curve. Minimalist strategy, CSI 300 index fund plus CSI 500 index fund. My experiment. 4 years ago, I invested $20 in the CSI 300 ETF. Now its market value is $31.2. With an annualized return of 10.8% passive income, data proves that the average annual dividend yield of the CSI 300 index over the past 10 years has been 2.5% tax efficiency. Transaction costs. ETF commissions are generally between 10,000 and 20,000 yuan, and there is no stamp duty. Risk level. But the probability of positive returns after holding for more than 5 years is 90% historical backtesting. The maximum drawdown of the CSI 300 index in the past 10 years is 46%. 3. Real estate REITs. The landlord model for the common people learning curve. Domestic targets: Hongtu Innovation Yanshang Port REIT, CICC Prologis REIT. Its current market value is $28.6. With a dividend of $1.2 and a total return of 48% my investment, I bought Yanshan Port REIT for $20. Passive income, rule advantage. REITs are required to allocate over 90% of their net profits for dividends each year. Tax efficiency. Tax treatment. Domestic REITs dividends are subject to a 20% individual income tax on interest, dividends and bonuses income. Risk level. Fluctuation case. During the 2022 pandemic, logistics REITs once dropped by 30%. For cryptocurrencies, a highly volatile future bet learning curve. Beginner's choice: Bitcoin plus Ethereum. Avoid altcoins experimental result. Buying Bitcoin at $20, it rose to $112 in 4 years. But once reached a high of $210 and dropped to a low of $15 passive income. Operation method: stake ETH on Coinbase. With an annualized interest rate of around 4.5% tax efficiency, in the United States, holding for more than 1 year is subject to long-term capital gains tax, while short-term holding is subject to ordinary income tax risk level, extreme case. Lunacoin plummeted from $119 to $0.0001, with 99.99% of its market value evaporating. 5. High dividend ETF. Cash flow machine learning curve. Domestic recommendation. Dividend ETF. Tracking the Shanghai Dividend Index, the dividend yield of 4.8% my holdings. I bought a dividend ETF with $20. Its current market value is $27.30, with a dividend of $3.10 and a total return of 52% passive income. Strategy advantage. Use dividends to repurchase. Forming a compound interest cycle of dividends, Repurchase more dividends tax efficiency. Dividend tax is the same as that of individual stocks. Optimization method. Hold in a tax preferential account risk level. Defensive feature. During the bear market in 2018, the decline of dividend ETFs was 15% less than that of the CSI 300. 3. The best distribution plan for $100 minimalist version suitable for complete beginners by the CSI 300 Index Fund for $50 by Dividend ETF. $30 by Yanshan Port REIT. $420 minus 4-year simulated return, approximately $68. With an annualized rate of 12.3%, advanced level be able to withstand fluctuations. By Bitcoin for $40 by the CSI 300 Index Fund, at $30 by a high dividend ETF, at $20 by Ethereum for $10 4-year simulated return, up to $185 down to $72. 4. 5 traps that beginners must avoid and after its resumption of trading. Fell by the daily limit for 7 consecutive days. 1. Do you want to put all your money in one stock? My case of Samsung proves that a single stock can consume all your principal too. Asterisk, asterisk, refuse leveraged trading. Asterisk, asterisk. $100 with 10 times leverage. A 10% drop leads to a margin call. 3. Stay away from insider information. In 2015, I bought a certain stock based on restructuring news. 4. Don't touch penny stock. 90% of low-priced stocks in the U.S. stock market will be delisted. And it is common for Saint stocks in the share market to be halved. 5. Not chasing hot concepts in 2017. I invested in blockchain concept stocks and lost 80% within half a year. VCore algorithms for wealth accumulation. 1. The magic formula of compound interest. Invest $100 per month at an annualized rate of 10%. After 40 years, it will amount to $1.63 million. Key variables. Time greater than return, rate greater than principal. Is it more important to start now than anything else too? The art of balancing risk and return. The 20-year-old portfolio, 80%. Stocks plus 20% bonds. The 35-year-old portfolio, 60% stocks plus 30%. Bonds plus 10% cash. The 50-year-old portfolio, 40% stocks plus 50%. Bonds plus 10% cash. 3. Value-added strategies beyond investment. Learn skills with a 10% return on investment. I spent $50,000 learning programming and later made my first pot of gold through technology entrepreneurship. Investment in interpersonal relationships. I spent $2,000 annually to attend industry summits. And 3 friends I met later became partners. The final list of actions: open a securities account tomorrow. Watai Securities, or East Money is recommended. 2. Set up automatic regular investment. Immediately transfer 10% of the salary to the investment account after it is credited. 3. Download the Wait a Moment app. Automatically follow up with the minimalist investment portfolio. 4. Read 3 books: The Smart Investor, The Guide to Index Fund Investment, and Poor Charlie's Almanac. $100 is not the starting point. It's your first handshake with financial freedom. Remember, true investment is to exchange your current understanding for future wealth. The best time is always 10 years ago and now.